everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a clicker with circuits V2. It's actually much simpler than it seems. This is part 1 out of, I think, 3, but yeah, let's get started. And this is assuming that you know what all these tools are and how to navigate the palette. So first off, something that's going to help out a lot is if you set the snapping to surface. This is going to make your life way easier because we're going to be able to do all our circuits on one wall, and it just makes things a lot easier, and so it's a lot more easy to read rather than text just floating around. So first part of this, so we're going to get a button. So see, this is what snapping does. So if it's off, then it's all over the place. If you set it to grid, then snap to the grid, which is good for like building, but that's not what we're looking for. If we do it on surface, then it snaps to a surface. And it's all on that one surface. So let's spawn in our button. Let's move this circuit board up to the wall. So now the first thing to understand is circuit boards. Now, you see all these inputs, but we're not actually going to need all of this. But only one we're going to need. So we're going to... Also, by the way, we're going to configure the circuit board. Go to chip settings, Recrom object attachment mode, and you're going to set that to detached so that if we move the button around, the circuit board doesn't move around with it. And also we're gonna remove all of these functions except for pressed, but we're not actually going to click delete. And then for outputs, we are going to delete player because we don't need to detect the player because of what we're going to do. So then, the core of this is an int variable. Int variable stands for integer variable, and an integer, if you don't know, is just any number that doesn't have a decimal. And so that we know what this is, we're going to configure it, go to chip settings, and then change chip name to, let's change it to, stupid stick drift. I don't want to name it S. Alright, let's name it Click. Actually, let's make it coins, because it's a nice name for currency. Coins. So click submit. Now, what you're going to see is, like, whoa. What is cloud variable? What does that mean? Well, basically, if you turn that on, then there's this little cloud icon, and that means that basically it will save between instances of the room. So then if I set coins to 1, and then I went into another instance of this room, or went to another sub room of the room, then, and I make a variable called coins with cloud variable on, then it's still going to be 1. But if I turn this off and I set it 1 here to 1 here, then, and I went into another instance or another subroom in this room, then it would be 0 because it wouldn't have saved. So we're going to leave cloud variable on. So now, this is like the basic part of it. So now we're going to search for add. So, and we're going to connect that. See that this is really useful. If you point it onto the circuit, then it brings it to the side. And if you actually do it on one of the ports, well, usually it would connect it to the port, but I guess we're going to use the connect tool to connect the two. And also, by the way, if you're in VR, then you can, and you squeeze both of the grip buttons, then you can scale stuff up or down. And then you can use the grip buttons to move. And if you hold down the grip button on one controller, then you can drag yourself about. And then that is going to make, for me, stick drift. That's going to make stick drift for me a whole lot less annoying. So now I'm going to move this down here, and then I'm going to connect the sum. So connect the output to the first value, and then the sum to the input of this. And then I click on this with the connect tool, and I set this value to 1. And then basically, that means that when I press this button, it's setting the coins variable to whatever's going into this input, and it's the amount of coins is 0 right now. And then if you do 0 plus 1, that is 1, and so it's that when you click the button, it will set coins to 1. If you click here, then I increase the amount, so now the output on there is 1 because the amount of coins we have is 1. And so now 1 plus 1 is 2, so next time we press the button, it will set coins to 2. And now that is the basic form of clicker. Yeah, so now we have 6 coins because I clicked 5 extra times. Oh, oops. Let's do that. Okay. So now the next part is I am going to okay. So I'm going to do text, and I am going to have the text over here, and then move this button over here. Now we're gonna do what we did before. We're gonna set attached. This is on the wall. So you can move it about. So now I'm actually going to delete all of its contents. Then you might be like, well, if there's no inputs or outputs, then how are you supposed to set the text? Well. Instead, we can use text set text. Now with this, it needs this, which tells it when to set the text. This target is what text you want to what text object you want to set. In this case, it's this one, so we're going to wire that up. And this is what the text is. So, and see, this is an int data type, and this is a string data type. And data types are not compatible with them, so you need conversion chips. Ooh. Okay. So if I wire this up, it doesn't work. Add connection error. It says add connection error. The type supports cannot be connected. So we've got to use the toString chip. So then if we wire that up, then what that literally does is it converts this number into a string. And so instead of it being the number 6, it's inserted some text saying 6. So then if we wire that up, yeah, but when do we set it? We want it always to be set even if we're not clicking. So then we bring in, alright, event receiver. I don't know why it put it down there. We're gonna move this back up. And now we're gonna configure this so that the event is update 30 Hz. And 30 Hz is the frequency that is being updated, and as in pretty much all the time it is giving an output, an execution output. And don't worry about this delta time thing, but since this isn't a circuit board, since this isn't a circuit board and instead it's an event receiver, we can't configure to delete this. I mean, we would delete this since we don't need it, but we can't because it's not a circuit board. So now it's always setting the text. Yeah, and you don't really need to worry about the chip limit in this because it doesn't take a lot of chips to do this kind of stuff. You don't really need to worry about CPU unless you're making big projects, which we're not. And that's just how often things are being updated. And so if there's too many things being updated constantly, like with this event receiver, and things are too busy, then this net will fill up, and if it gets to 100%, then errors will start popping up in the logging area because it'll be out of network heat. And I'm gonna have to end this tutorial soon because my headset is on low battery. So now, whoops. Okay, let's go back here. Now, if we click here, then it increases the number every time we click. I'm just gonna make things look a little better. By changing the material to neon and setting the color to white. But actually I'm going to set it back because I kind of like it. And also it's easy to read. And with this, however, I'm going to set so the text says click. So yeah, that's the end of the tutorial. Next tutorial we're going to be making upgrades. So yeah, I'm just going to save the room. Saving. Okay, don't worry about that. So yeah, that's the end of the tutorial. Stay tuned for more, guys. And by the way, next video, I'm going to be playing a Rec Room horror game called Dare to Sleep with 2 random subscribers. So make sure to subscribe if you want to be featured in that video. So yeah, bye. Oh, also yeah, comment to tell me other video ideas. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. And again, if you want to be featured in my next video. So yeah, that's it.